provide us with an update on the plans with respect to relocating the court. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Russell Oechsle, the Executive Director of our Judicial District representing the Office of Court Administration, who will do the introductions.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'm sure if you read the papers, which if you're here tonight, I suspect you all do, we've been working on a project since approximately November with the city with respect to the court facility, improvements in the court facility. In way of background, the city's obligated to provide adequate and suitable court space for the Oneida City Court, while the State Unified Court System, pursuant to a constitutional amendment passed in 1978, has the responsibility for all the operational costs of the court. Over the years, since 1978, the state legislature has acted on several occasions to provide means for localities to meet those court system obligations by providing some revenue support for those efforts. The original bill was passed in 1987. It provided up to 25% reimbursement for facility improvements to the courts. A new set of legislation passed in 1996 made certain smaller renovation projects largely eligible for up to 100% reimbursement. It's that program the city wishes to take advantage of in their efforts to renovate the Philipson building and provide adequate space for the courts. When we say adequate and suitable, there are standards that apply to every locality in the state of New York. So there aren't different standards for the seat of Oneida and different standards for Madison County. They're included in the administrative rules of the chief judge. They are facility guidelines. They're not hard and fast, but they provide a basis for discussion and for design work. And again, they relate and pertain to every court facility in the state. So when it comes to analyzing the adequacy of current facilities and designing new facilities, we have a basis upon which to make those comparisons. For approximately the last 10 years, the court here in the city of Oneida has been deficient in terms of meeting those standards. We've worked with a number of administrations in an attempt to come up with a suitable solution within this building. I don't know if you all noticed the way this building is built, but this is a very, very difficult building to make renovations in. And much of the space is taken up by central atriums that go through both floors. So approximately 50% of the usable space due to either circulation or airspace is unusable on both floors in this building. The space that we have surrounds the central atrium and in some places is approximately 10 feet wide. In fact, in most of the court back office space, the actual workable space is less than 15 feet wide. So that's made it very difficult over the years. We have made a number of improvements. We've actually chunked out a few of these concrete walls over the years, but there's simply no more space to be had on this floor for the courts without moving somebody else off. We rely on the city to talk with us, work out issues. There have been a number of questions over the last few months about state mandates. The requirement that the city meet and provide adequate and suitable space for the courts is in judiciary law. The standards are in the rules of the chief judge. The city has been deficient in meeting those standards for the past decade. A number of people who called me at my office down in Binghamton, very concerned about this project, and as taxpayers they should be, wanted a hard and fast ultimatum, wanted a mandate that said this facility had to be provided by Tuesday, May 15th. And it was probably unsatisfying, but I did respond by saying that is not the way we operate. We're a branch of government just like the city is, the city administration is. We understand that things take time. Our effort is to work with localities, and sometimes it takes a decade to pull a project together. So make no mistake, there is a mandate. The city has not been meeting that mandate, and we are interested in a long-term solution to that problem. So, and when we do so, we include not only existing needs, but projected needs up to 15 years, so that we don't have to come back every time we get a new staff person or a judge goes from part-time to full-time and come back begging for more space. We try to take care of these issues when we can. So with the cooperation of the city, we were asked to provide input to a possible relocation of the court across the street to the Philipson's building, work with Barton and LaJudas and with JCM Architects. Obviously, we were more than happy to do so. Using the facility guidelines with respect to the courts, came out to between 6,000 and 7,000 square feet. Approximately 25% of that is made up in circulation space. The rest courtroom and back office space. This project has come together fairly quickly, but with respect to the facility guidelines, we've done enough facility work in our 17 localities, and we've certainly been thinking about this project for long enough that I think we've had 3 meetings, and we've probably got at least the court portion of the prospective plan, probably 90% together in terms of layout and circulation patterns. The plan for the court, as currently drafted, would use the existing main entrance in the Philipson's building. Everybody see this? You want me to raise it up over? We have a security screening station, which we do here now. We took part of the hallway up front. There's a desk and a magnetometer there. We would have a somewhat better and more professional arrangement. Visitors would come through the screening, be able to go directly into the courtroom here. It's about a 1,300 square foot courtroom, seating for approximately 80 people. Lynn wasn't happy because she said she needed at least 100. We have traffic days here in court where we get 150 people, believe it or not. The police obviously have been busy. We have a public counter here, a security office, back office space, offices for the judges and court staff, a jury room behind the main courtroom, a secure corridor that comes down that side of the courtroom so that attorneys and clients in custody can meet in private, which we absolutely do not have now. When you leave, you'll notice the public counter we have out here, which is built in the hallway, and I can assure you is probably the smallest public counter of any city court in the state of New York, because it was part of it. It was a hallway. We converted it and put a window in. So, in general, when we design court facilities, we worry a lot about circulation patterns. Prisoners have to be able to get in one side of the courtroom to a counsel table without crossing the paths of jurors and judges. So they have to come in on one side. You have to design a circulation pattern so that the judges and court staff are at no time interacting with the jury outside of the courtroom, and we've been able to do that. Courtroom benches these days have to be handicapped accessible, and so that takes up a little more room in terms of courtroom design than back in the days when people weren't concerned with that. So the entire court facility will be handicapped accessible both for judges, court staff, jurors, and the public.